to take a minute to welcome them to Laughlintown. And I'm going to ask them a couple questions so that you guys can get to know them as well until we are back together in our building. So the first question is kind of just tell us a little background about, Jonathan, where you grew up and how you met Adrian and, kind of how you landed here in Laughlintown.
All right. Well, I'll start because I have the most interesting growing up story because I grew up in Africa. And that was because my parents were missionaries with Pioneer Bible Translators, which I know you all support. And it was Tarzan country. I grew up running around in the forests and fishing from creeks, and it was a lot of fun. And in some ways reminds me of the outdoors life that y'all love here in Laughlintown. We met in college. She'll tell you more about that. And we have spent with our family time in lots of places, mainly teaching and preaching. And we needed to come back east from the far reaches of New Mexico. So Laughlintown was the church that got us.
So we went to Milligan College, and I was a freshman and he was a senior, and we met on a weekend at a spiritual life retreat. As he said, we've lived all over, most recently New Mexico. It's really good to be back on this side of the country. My parents are getting older, we're getting older. Our son is in New York most of the year, so it was just time to come back this way.
So I'm from all over. I've lived in Tennessee, Nebraska, Kentucky, North Carolina, Texas, New Mexico, New York, and here. Am I missing anything? I think
That's quite the list there.
Yeah. So I'm not really from anywhere, but currently I am going to college at Vassar in New York, which is a lot of fun. Though now that my parents have moved closer, I might have to transfer somewhere in California.
Get the distance built back up again. Understandable. That's great. Well, we're so glad that you landed here in Laughlintown, and I know we're all really excited to have you guys with us, and even more excited to get things back to a normal routine. But so what kind of things are you guys interested in? Where do your passions lie as far as serving the church and even in your personal lives? What are you guys passionate about?
Are you looking at me because you're looking at me first this time? Okay.
They get to hear my sermons. Go ahead.
Okay, so I've done a combination of educational settings, counseling settings, ministry settings. I worked in a teenage boys group home. I worked in a Montessori school, so things like that. My background is psychology and sociology with a concentration in child development. I'm also interested in history and nature, going to historical sites, being out in nature. I can combine the two. That's even better. I'm most excited about showing Jonathan and Jacob Frank Lloyd Wright's Falling Waters.
Oh yes, it's a beautiful site.
Yeah, introducing them to that. So,
Yeah.
I was able to go this past fall for the first time.
Awesome.
Yes.
You're up there, Jacob.
Well, in terms of the church, I've always been interested in working with youth groups. I did a little bit of that back in Hobbs, taught a couple Sunday schools. That was a lot of fun. In terms of my own personal interests, in college I am studying economics, which I really enjoy. Incentives, just rationalize the world, don't worry about anything else.
Right.
And I also love to write.
Awesome.
That's just one of the more constructive things I like to do with my time, just sit down and write stories and papers.
Nice.
And as a minister, I do a little bit of a lot of things. I do think that my passion, though, that you'll know sooner or later, is I'm a little bit of the kind of love stories, science fiction geek, movies, TV shows. Those really do excite me. And of course, when I'm not in front of a screen or a book, I love being out in nature. Jacob and I got to go for a run where we're around Laughlintown Creek, so that was just today. So I love this area for that reason. And I don't think I just got it from Adrian. I think it drew us to each other. But I love the psychology and sociology too, learning about generations, learning about cultures, learning about how people think about different things from different angles in order to find ways to respect more different kinds of people, which helps in the church. So those are neat things.
Awesome. Is there anything else you guys want to add? You know, Adrian mentioned she likes to be outside for fun. You know, Jonathan is a Dallas Cowboys fan, so
Ooh,
those
yes.
of you that are Steelers fans, don't hold that
Yes.
against him.
I'm trying to decide whether to invest myself in the Steelers or just keep going with the Cowboys. The one thing I do know, no Eagles. So
That's good. I think we can all agree with that on this side of the state for sure. So, well, we hope that you guys all get a chance to meet the Huddleston family sooner than later. And until then, we'll keep checking in with them on our YouTube channel and keep checking out our sermons and our little sneak peeks.